What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of the Sporty Hour that we have renamed the Sporty Hours by very popular demand. Today, we are going to be going live past our 1 hour normal allotment time because hello, it is Super Bowl Sunday. I am feeling so many emotions. I am so excited to be sitting here and hanging out with everybody today. Guys, how are we feeling? I need a big go Birds. I already saw one Chiefs Kingdom comment on TikTok. We are not here for that energy today. Guys, normally when I do the long form style content, I try and be an unbiased NFL reporter, analyst, content creator, whatever you want to call it. Today, and honestly, throughout this whole playoffs, that's been very, very tough for me. Today, I can assure you that will not be the case. I'm wearing my Jalen Carter jersey today. It is big Go Birds energy. I could not be more excited to be spending today with you guys, and there is so much to get into. I am working on making sure that we are live on all platforms, YouTube, TikTok. What is going on, world? All right. Let's get to some comments here before we dive into actual Eagles discussions. Hello, we have one of our regulars. Welcome back. Go Birds, go Birds. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Of course, go Birds, go Birds, go Birds. And then we have Zach. I am truly sorry, Jordan. We all know the Chiefs are going to win like always. I, a Niners fan, am rooting for the Eagles, but come on, we know how that works. Great season for the Birds, though. Happy birthday, Saquon and Coop. We have that coming up as well. Let me hit some TikTok comments just so nobody is left unanswered. Hello, everybody. And yes, I actually have a banner made for this already. Today is not the Super Bowl. It is the birthday bowl. We have Saquon Barkley. We have Cooper DeJean that are looking to get a massive victory on their respective birthdays today, February 9th. I'm sorry. If you don't think that Saquon Barkley is winning the Super Bowl on his birthday, you're wrong. Zach, I respect your comment. And honestly, I appreciate that even as a Niners fan, you're rooting for the Eagles today. But throughout this show today, you will see that I completely disagree, and not even necessarily from a biased standpoint. We have some interesting tidbits today that prove why the Philadelphia Eagles should win the Super Bowl today. Starting off with the most important one. So I actually I forgot, it's actually Vince Papale's birthday today too. So it is just quite literally the birthday bowl. But yeah, no. So one mistake that I made, I am going to own up to something. I take full responsibility for the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl loss 2 years ago. Why? I will tell you. The first time that the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, I was watching at home with my mom, who made me an Eagles fan. We watched almost every single game together that season. I was commuting back and forth from college and living at home. And so we watched all these games together. We watched 2017 together. We won. The last time that they played, I switched up my viewing arrangements and we did not have the same outcome. So today I'm going back to what we know and back to what we know has worked. And I'm watching the game at home with my mother. And I am posing this question to everyone in the comments, everyone watching. Where do you guys prefer to watch the Super Bowl? Because I know the Super Bowl Sunday, it's a very big event. There's parties, especially when the Eagles are in it. I know people are at Xfinity Live. People are at Barstool. There are so many McGillans, like everywhere in Philly. I'm sure it's packed. I know they were selling tickets. But I prefer I don't know if it's just because I'm a creator and that this is my career type thing, but I prefer to watch at home only surrounded by people that are equally as invested in the game. To me, that is where I feel the most comfortable. I don't like to miss a snap. I don't like to miss a second of the action. So let me know in the comments where you prefer. I got another one. I'm staying home to focus. I completely agree. But yeah, and we have someone who just watched Invincible the other day. Very, very good pregame for this. But yeah, no, I prefer, everyone in my comments agrees. I'm home and no one's allowed over. Watching with my son in the basement. Let's go. It's too big of a game. And when the Eagles aren't in it, I'm totally down to go to a Super Bowl party and watch. I still like to be surrounded by people that are actively watching the game, but it's not as intense as when the Eagles are in it. Let's go. When they won in 2018, it was the first year I moved to Texas. In 2023, I went back to Philly. See, okay, good. All right. So we're all learning from the mistakes last year of kind of switching up viewing arrangements for the Super Bowl. Let's go. Jordy, today is the day. My nerves fly, Eagles fly. We are on our way to victory. We are partying in Philly tonight. Yeah, that's what. Here, guys, I'll tell you a really funny story about the last time that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So this was after the 2017 season. This was February of 2018. Eagles win the Super Bowl. Like I said, I stayed at home and was watching the game with my mom. However, after the game, me, my mom, and my sister immediately went to Dick's Sporting Goods, bought a bunch of Super Bowl gear. And then I got a text from one of my friends that is like, I'm hopping on, because I live in South Jersey. I'm hopping on the train and I'm going to Broad Street. I'm picking you up. And I was like, say less, let's go. There was some drinking involved. So my judgments were a little impaired. I'm running up and down Broad Street yelling, fuck Tom Brady. It was one of the best moments of honestly my entire existence. And then all of a sudden the endorphins of the day took over and I started knocking on the doors of tattoo shops in Philadelphia saying, please tattoo the number 9 anywhere on my body. And literally there were so many, you could tell that there were people in there, but they just were not opening the door. And then finally there was this one tattoo shop that opened the door and took one look at me. And he said, I will do this for you tomorrow if you come back, but I will not do it for you tonight. And unfortunately I never went back, but I just thought that was I like telling that story because it just shows the momentum and the vibes and the energy. Do you have any fingernails left? Exciting times. I know my manicure has definitely looked better. But one thing I do want to discuss, did I correctly predict the Eagles season? So prior to the season starting, I think I posted a video literally either the day before the game in Brazil or very, very close to it, maybe even the morning of. And I went through and I did a prediction breakdown for how I thought the season was going to go, wins and losses. I'm going to give myself some credit because I said from day one that the Eagles were going to finish this season 14-3. I called it. I called our exact record. However, I did get the games a little wrong. I had us splitting with the Commanders. So I said the Commanders were going to win one. We were going to win one. That I got right. The rest of our losses I got wrong. Nothing could have prepared me for the Atlanta loss at our home opener. I was actually at that game. And even up until the last 10 minutes of that game, nothing could have prepared me for a loss. But yeah, so I got that one wrong. And then I really, really thought we were going to have the upper hand against the Bucs after what they did to us in the postseason last year. But unfortunately, that was another one I got wrong. I'm pretty sure I said we were going to split with Dallas, just because I always kind of go into the season expecting us to split with Dallas. And then I thought we were honestly going to lose against the Rams. That felt like a trap game, where it was placed in the season. However, it wasn't. And yeah, but I was really proud of myself for the 14-3 record prediction. I thought that was pretty cool. Dallas is not playing. Yeah, I think I'm going to start. I'm going to stop saying that we're going to split with Dallas going into the season just because, hello, we're better. Let's go. Commanders fans are real quiet after we dropped that 50 piece. I know. If you are Sporty Hour regulars, I had a lot before the NFC Championship game. My comments, my views were flooded with Commanders fans saying that the Eagles were going to get embarrassed. There was no chance that the Eagles are going to win. And I was giving all the kudos to the Commanders and Jaden Daniels for what they've done this season. However, the Eagles were not getting the same energy back. And then we dropped 55 points on them. So let's go. Let's go. Yo, Drew, welcome back. Here we go. Off topic, but have you talked about the Luka trade? I don't normally talk about basketball. I actually posted one video about the Sixers this week, and I got torched on TikTok. And I was like, this is why I don't talk about the NBA, because the NBA following is very, very intense and they scare me a little bit. But that trade absolutely blew my mind. However, we are definitely not talking NBA today because it is the Super Bowl. Let's go. I'm getting a ton of go birds in here. Saquon is going to have 200 on KC. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for today. I don't know what the lines are at for everyone's total yardage and everything. I can get that pulled up here in a second, but I've been every week steady of the playoffs doing Saquon with 140 rushing yards. Just for shits and gigs. Let's go. Brian, don't forget Sixers at 2 p.m. today. No, I'm not thinking about the Sixers at all, but I love you. Let's go. Sorry, no, do not be sorry. To me, obviously I hate all things Dallas just because that's how I was born and raised, but the Mavericks, I don't have that same animosity to. And I actually really like Luka. So I thought the whole thing was pretty wild. I'm ready for this game. I'm tired of waiting. I know this has been the longest 2 weeks of my life. But let's go, because let's talk about this matchup a little bit, because I'm seeing very conflicting comments specifically on TikTok of saying that there's no chance that the Eagles lose today. And then also vice versa. Of course, the Chiefs are going to win. They're the Chiefs. So let's break down this matchup just a little bit. Personally, and again, unbiasedly, I think everyone can agree that total roster from top to bottom, the Eagles overall are the better team. In all aspects, the Eagles are the better team. However, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, which we know is not something that is easy to defeat. We've learned the hard way. They also have the refs on their side. And yes, I'm going to lean into that today. I don't care. Let's go. I just got a comment, name 4 players on your defense. All right. Do you want me to name their stat lines for this season too? No, I'm not getting feisty about that today. All right, let's go. So 2 years ago in our previous Super Bowl matchup against the Chiefs, the Eagles were the second team in Super Bowl history to lead the NFL in sacks for that given year, but then to not record a single sack during the big game, which again, major flaw for us back 2 years ago. However, the energy around this team, I felt very nervous going into that Super Bowl matchup, and I'm not feeling as nervous today, and I'm going to tell you why. I just think overall the team, we have the chemistry and even just the relationship between Jalen Hurts and our coaching staff, I think has really, really developed. And I understand that we have a lot of young players, but again, it's that chemistry, that brotherhood. There's a different energy and vibe to this team than the previous team that played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a few years ago. So I'm feeling really, really good. Obviously, I think there are some big key takeaways that we need to talk about going into this matchup. Number one is obviously, in order for the Eagles to win, and again, I am only giving keys to victory for Philadelphia today. This is a Philadelphia fan show, okay? I'm not being unbiased in any way. We are not going to give the Chiefs any tokens to win. We are talking about the Eagles and how they are going to get it done today. Sorry. All right, so for the Eagles to get it done, keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Point blank. We've done an excellent job this season of having these long, extended, gorgeous drives put together by Jalen Hurts, who is an absolute game manager. And I think the more that we can do that, obviously utilize Saquon Barkley as much as possible, have him run as much as possible, extend these drives, and just give Patrick Mahomes as little time on the field as we can. All right. So that's obviously the biggest one. Also, passing game. I don't know what the hell happened in the NFC Championship game in a very positive way, because that was, I think, the best our offense has looked literally all year. The plays that we were calling were genius. Jalen Hurts looked extremely confident. In the divisional round game, I was really, really frustrated. And again, there was a lot of factors involved, but the snow, the freezing temperatures, obviously, but I was really frustrated watching Jalen Hurts hold on to the ball, and it felt like he didn't have time, and he couldn't get the ball out, which I think really, really hurt us. But in the NFC Championship game, Hurts 20 of 28 for 246 yards, a touchdown, no interception. This was the second time since mid-November that Hurts was throwing for over 200 yards. And I think that was the difference maker here. I mean, obviously, Smitty had a huge performance against the Chiefs in our last Super Bowl matchup. And we're going to need everyone to kind of show up and show out today. And the other big thing is our secondary. Our secondary just has to keep doing what they've been doing since Cooper DeJean became a starter back in week 6. The Eagles have allowed a league low of 5.2 yards per attempt and 171.9 passing yards per game. So if we can just, play the way we have been. The other thing that I think we need to discuss, I have a lot of comments in here that we're going to catch up on. Let's go. Hello, loyals. It's so happy to have you back. I was so nervous because I've been doing the Sporty Hour every Saturday, and I switched it to Sunday so we could spend Super Bowl Sunday together. And I was so nervous that my loyals and my regulars would not be back. So I am so excited to see all of these familiar faces. Yeah, let's get some comments in here. So happy we do an extended show today. You pitched it. I know you did. This was such a good idea. All right, let's go. And use the tush push. Obviously, we have to use the tush push. And again, if you want to talk shit on the tush push, fine. But my whole thing on the tush push, if it's such an easy play, then stop it. Like if it's so easy and it should be illegal because of how easy it is, then stop it. Sorry, we're good at it. Like, geez. Hurts cannot hold on to the ball too long and let plays down. I agree. Need one more Kellen Moore masterclass. I completely agree. We're actually going to talk a little bit about Kellen Moore later on because there has been a lot of breaking news surrounding him this week. If Saquon Barkley can break free early, if he can't break free early, we're cooked. Absolutely. I think we need to establish the run very, very early on. Chiefs allow the most yards per attempt to tight ends in the NFL. This is a big thing. And obviously in the offseason, we're going to talk a little bit more about Dallas Goedert and kind of his future there. However, right now, obviously healthy, still on our squad. And when Dallas Goedert is available, when he's healthy, when he is there to make big plays, it is a difference maker just because we have so many pieces on offense, you can't stop them all. So I think utilizing Dallas Goedert is going to be huge. Brandon Graham is going to make me sentimental. I know I have a few things. We're going to talk about Brandon Graham later as well. There are a few just like really weird patterns, signs, if you will, that I've noticed over the last few weeks. And I kind of hinted at them last week, and we're going to dive into them. Today, Sirianni take the points. Jalen Carter's impact will be felt today. That's why I'm wearing my Jalen Carter jersey for the show today, just to show him some love and have some good luck there. However, everyone knows that my Quinyon Mitchell jersey has been the key to success this postseason. I have not lost in it since I got it and since I started wearing it. And I absolutely will be wearing it today. Let's go. The fantasy three-peat started with us. It will end with us. Dun, dun, dun. Let's talk about the three-peat a little bit too. Just because, let's go. So the Chiefs are trying to make history, you say. Can the Eagles remain the dynasty killers? This is something that we have to talk about because the last time that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, again, 2017 season, February of 2018, the Patriots were going for their three-peat. So I am convinced that the Eagles are just the team. Oh my God, I just got a comment on TikTok. I'm sorry to interrupt my one thought. I just got a comment on TikTok that Book It with Trent bet on the Chiefs, which is phenomenal news. For those that don't know, book it with Trent. All respect in the world. I appreciate you so much for betting on the Chiefs. Book it with Trent is a sports betting creator in the space who doesn't have the best track record. So I absolutely love, he just became my best friend in the entire world for betting on the Chiefs today, because that gives the Eagles even more of an upper hand. But back to the original point, the dynasty killers. So the Chiefs are trying to make history. Like I said, the Eagles stopped the Patriots from their three-peat. So now it's like, are the Eagles just the team that comes out and stops history from being done? I kind of like that narrative from us. Nobody likes us. We don't care. We're not going to let you have any nice things. Like, I just feel like it fits the vibe completely. Let's go. The Chiefs will be all in on stopping the run. Will be very interesting to see if the Eagles can persist. And that's, again, I completely agree with this take of the Eagles are, I mean, every team playing the Eagles this season, I'm sure it's written on the board, just stop Saquon Barkley. Like that's the key. However, we have so many weapons and receiver too, with AJ Brown, Javonte Smith, Jahan Dotson when he can make a big play, Dallas Goedert, Calcaterra. Let's get Calcaterra involved. And then also we saw some of our lesser name running backs. Will Shipley got a touchdown at the end of the NFC Championship game when the rest of the starters came out. So in my opinion, it's like, yes, the Chiefs are obviously going to do everything that they can to stop Saquon Barkley. But if they're putting in all of this effort to stop Saquon, then it's just going to open up the floodgates for everybody else to go off. And that's why I kind of highlighted our performance, and specifically Jalen's performance from the NFC Championship game. And that's why I'm so excited that my boyfriend and the love of my life made this comment earlier about needing one more Kellen Moore masterclass, because the play calling was brilliant. Everything was brilliant. And if Jalen Hurts can pass the way he did last week, even if the Chiefs are stopping Saquon or holding him back, I don't know if there's any stopping Saquon. I think we're meant to win this. So let's go. I just got a comment. Sorry for your loss in advance. We will see. We will see. Let's go. I think they don't want 26 to beat them. We know that. I hope Kellen, already Saints coach Moore, opens the playbook and has a backdoor plan. I agree. Here we go. Yeah, and imagine AJ Brown not in double coverage. Like, I'm sorry. This is what I said earlier. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. You can never fully count Patrick Mahomes out. But the Eagles from top to bottom are better. Our defense is better. And the Chiefs have a strong defense, but if the Eagles secondary just keeps doing what they're doing, and again, we got Cooper DeJean and Saquon Barkley playing on their birthdays. Let's freaking go. All right, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's talk about some really fun little tidbit extra stuff. Because the Eagles need to score 27 points in this game. So if the Eagles score more than 27 points, they have scored the most points in single postseason ever in NFL history, which I think is pretty cool. And obviously, let's talk about the one thing everyone wants to talk about, and that is dun dun dun. BG is back. Now I need to look at some updated reports. I was running around a little bit this morning. So I need to see the expectation for him a little bit. My guess would be he's not playing this entire game. And he gets a few snaps here and there, but I would just love to see him to have at least one big moment. And just the fact that he's going to be there and be a part of it, I think is the most special thing in the entire world, especially because we knew coming into the season that it was his farewell tour. And it obviously didn't go the way that we wanted it to. But remember how I mentioned earlier in the show how there are a lot of signs and a lot of things just pointing into a positive light for the Eagles. There are a few specifically surrounding Brandon Graham that I want to dive into a little bit deeper. So as we know, BG is back. He's activated. Last week when we scored 55 points, the most in championship history, championship weekend history, that to me felt like a sign, did it not? It it felt poetic, very necessary. There's another crazy storyline. This goes back to Ray Lewis with the Baltimore Ravens. So Ray Lewis on the Baltimore Ravens, he had already won one Super Bowl in Baltimore. They were fighting to win their second. In the middle of that season, he tore his tricep. Does that sound very familiar to anybody else? Because I think the Eagles had someone tear a tricep this year. And just like Ray Lewis, same with Brandon Graham, expected to be out for the entire season. Now Ray Lewis did fight and come back. He was available for more of the postseason. However, he was not expected to be able to play at all. He got to play. And what happened at the end of that year? The Ravens went on to win their second Super Bowl with Ray Lewis. And now I'm hoping that we can see history repeat itself with Brandon Graham back in the lineup. Isn't that really, really cool? Smith, for sure, my opinion. Chiefs will want to frustrate AJ. Yep. And another fun tidbit. Devontae Smith would be the first or one of 4 players ever to win a Heisman, a national championship, and a Super Bowl. And he's doing it in his home state, which I think is really, really awesome. Let's go. BG was cooking before his injury. I completely agree. I was heartbroken when he went out this season. Obviously, he's just a Philly favorite. Big Philly energy. So no matter what, I would have been heartbroken to see him go. But as an older player, kind of on his way out, he was playing lights out. And knowing him and the energy that he brings, I'm really, really hoping that he just goes off and completely dominates today. I'm going to get caught up on some comments here. Chris Jones, 4 sacks. Chiefs fans in here. Need Jalen Carter to have a day today. I absolutely think he's going to. We just have the better team overall. I completely agree. Chiefs. I'm not listening to Taylor Swift today. Do you guys know how hard that is for me? But I feel like that's bad juju. I gotta listen to Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Someone just asked, are you nervous? I'm definitely nervous, but it's not nervous in a way of like, I feel like the Chiefs are going to win. It's just like such an important moment and such a big game. And I want it so bad. But throughout this entire postseason, I really kind of had this like eerie, calm confidence, I would say, which I do not normally have by any stretch. But I kind of went into this postseason and every game, it was like, obviously you don't know what's going to happen. You're nervous, a little anxious, but I just like in the back of my mind, it was like, but we're going to win. We're going to get it done like in one way or another. And I still feel that, and it hasn't let me down yet. And I was really, really nervous, obviously during the Rams game, because that got really close. I remember like the feeling of just like crawling out of my skin and having to walk around because I was so just overwhelmed and I didn't want it to see it end. But again, I just kind of knew that we would figure it out. And I have that again today. Are you from Pennsylvania? I'm actually from South Jersey. So talk shit if you want. I know I'm not technically a Philly gal. My office is in Bensalem, PA. So I'm back and forth, but no, I am a South Jersey native. Any specific food or drinks for today? So I am, like I said earlier in the episode, I'm going over to my mom's today to watch the game because that's where we watched for our initial Super Bowl victory back in 2018. Obviously, I am making my game-winning buffalo chicken dip. I was getting a little nervous. I actually posted my recipe on my TikTok, so if you're interested, go check it out there. It's a very basic buffalo chicken dip, nothing fancy. However, we win when I make it. So of course I'm making it today, but I was a little nervous because when I posted that initially, everyone knows my playoff bracket had the Bills, Eagles in the Super Bowl. And everyone was like, Jordan, if it's Bills, Eagles, Super Bowl, Buffalo Bills, can we make buffalo chicken dip? And I went, that's a very excellent point that you have brought to my attention. However, we're not playing Buffalo, so I'm absolutely making my buffalo chicken dip. Let's go. We are also doing some pigs in the blanket, some mini hot dogs, obviously. We're doing some hoagies and cheesesteaks, duh. But yeah, I think those are the big things. Let's go. We have a buffalo chicken chili in the crock pot today. That is awesome. Yeah, one of the best parts about Super Bowl is all the food and everything, which is awesome. I've been participating. I have not had a sip of alcohol yet in 2025. I was initially doing 75 hard. I got a little derailed because I got super, super sick. So I've just been sticking with dry January. And I haven't drank yet. And I do not think I am going to today. Again, literally just for the superstition of it all. Guys, I'm not changing anything. And we've been winning with everything that I've been doing. So no alcohol will be consumed today. Pepsi and snack foods. That will be my day. Let's go. The Sporty Kitchen. Should I do a cooking show? Abe, you just have to do my marketing from now on. Let's go. Not even a victory champagne. All right, maybe after the game. Actually, oh my God, I don't want to leave the stream. You just reminded me of something that I completely forgot about. I have sitting next to my TV. So again, the superstitions are very, very real. I have not moved my setup in a few weeks. And the Eagles, ahead of the season, sent me a few bottles of alcohol. I got a tequila. I got a champagne. Thank you so much to the amazing Philadelphia Eagles organization. I love you more than anything in the whole world. And I have not popped the champagne all year. It is a closed bottle. So maybe today I'm going to bring it over to my mom's, and that will be our victory. I can do a victory toast with my Philadelphia Eagles bottle of champagne that I've been holding on to all year. I got a comment from Adam. I'm going to see you at my college tomorrow. Yes, you absolutely will. If there are any other Rowan University sports communication and media students listening, I am a Rowan University grad. That's my alma mater. They taught me everything that I know, set me up for success in all the best ways possible. And I am like so beyond honored and excited that tomorrow I actually get to go back to Rowan and talk to the sports communication and media program that I graduated from, which is just so crazy because I used to go to those events and talk with industry professionals and try and learn as much as I could. So the fact that I get to be included in that is pretty unreal. So I am so excited to see you and anybody else who is going to be there tomorrow. Let's go. I'm going to get caught up on some comments here. Please don't climb a light pole. Guys, I promise I'm not made for that life. Let's go. I'm going to get back to some comments here. Let's make a bet. If the Eagles, no, I'm not making, that's the thing. I was talking to my boyfriend about this morning. I was like, are we betting today? What's the vibe? And I have decided I'm definitely going to bet just because it's the Super Bowl. I need to. I have a few Super Bowl squares in place. But I'm definitely going to be placing some bets. So let me know. Maybe we can cook up a sporty hour parlay in the second half of this extended special episode. The Eagles have to sack Mahomes. Yes, they do. Like I said, I brought up the stat earlier. I think that was one of the biggest things that really held us back in 2022 when we played, or 2023. There we go. Going to the parade if they win. Absolutely. Pepsi and parlay. Let's go. That is literally my entire life, guys. Let's go Chiefs, guys. No Chiefs. Go Eagles. But yeah, I will absolutely be going to the parade. If/when they win, I've been kind of avoiding the P word. Just because, again, the superstitions, I don't want to jinx anything. But I will absolutely be in attendance. I was there in 2018 and it was an amazing experience. Let me get caught up here. Help. My husband says that if we win the Super Bowl and I get 500 likes on my video, he'll buy me a ring. That is Marissa, boy mom of 3. Everyone go like her video. Get that shit to 500 likes. Girl, you deserve a ring. That is the best thing I've ever heard. I really hope we get it done for you today. You have fun. Let's go. Are you going to the game? No. I actually got asked this a lot. And I did. And again, I'm very grateful for my following, what I'm able to do. And I had a couple emails of, I didn't get, any offers of like, we'll send you to the Super Bowl, but I got some of, hey, come to New Orleans and we'll have you at this restaurant or this bar, like near the stadium. And it was something I like briefly considered, but again, I don't like to watch big games in chaotic settings. And especially one this monumental and this important. And I also just like really want to be near Philly. I don't know. I don't want to be far away. It is my goal in life to watch a Super Bowl in person. That's something that I definitely want to do. But I'd want to go to like a non-Eagles Super Bowl, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's weird or not, but that's just my take on it. Jalen Carter jersey is tough. Let's go. I put $100 on the Eagles preseason, and it's so annoying because I actually almost did as well. And I actually thought I did like a few weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, didn't I place a bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? And I must have just never submitted it. I was really fucking pissed at myself because I feel like I always do that. And of course, it doesn't usually work. And the 1 year it could have. But whatever. I hope it wins for you. That's all that matters. Let's go. I wish it was Bills versus Eagles instead. I do too. And let's talk about this matchup a little bit more because there is something that is kind of annoying that we have to talk about in regards to this matchup, but I do feel that it needs to be said. Everyone's been making jokes. I even made a joke about it earlier in the show about the Chiefs and the refs and kind of the pattern that we've seen over the last few years and being favored in some ways. And I said this last week and the last few weeks that I never usually like to blame the refs on a loss. Have I done it? Of course. I mean, you heard me complain after the last time that we won the Super Bowl. I feel like it's inherent fan behavior to blame the refs just because you need someone to be upset with when your team doesn't perform. I get it. I'm guilty of it. However, do I always think it's fair? No. However, it's getting to the point where there's too many red flags, kind of pun intended, yellow flags, that we've seen, especially this season with the Chiefs, that do make me really nervous for this game. And I talked about this on my podcast, on the Unsolicited podcast. If you don't watch or follow us there, please do. We're on YouTube. We're available wherever you get your audio podcasts, and we're on social media at the Unsolicited_podcast. It's me and my podcast co-host, Sam Cardona, who is a Giants fan. So the dynamic is very, very funny. But yeah, so we had this big discussion on the Chiefs and the whole ref situation. And my take going into it is like, it's clear that the Chiefs they get more calls than any other team, which it makes it difficult. And it basically means that the Eagles have to play a very clean game today. And looking back on our last Super Bowl matchup, the jersey uniforms were the same. It was the Chiefs wearing white, the Eagles wearing green, and the Eagles were wearing green with green gloves. And I literally was like, let's go to the extreme. And I'm sure Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore and all of our coaching staff is preaching this as well. But it's like, wear white gloves, wear white cleats. Don't do anything dumb because you're going to get called. And the Chiefs may not get those same calls, which is very, very annoying. And you can blame it on my fandom. I don't give a shit. I just think it's true. But yeah, so I really hope that the Eagles play a clean game today and we'll see what happens. Here we go. Oklahoma Sooner here rooting for Jalen Hurts. That's another thing I'm curious about. Nationwide. I'm getting too many good Chiefs. Nationwide, though, I'm very curious at what the vibe is around Eagles Chiefs. Because I know the Eagles are not a fandom that is loved by most. And no one likes this. We don't care. I get that energy. But the Chiefs, are obviously they're living that storyline right now where it's like you live long enough to become the villain. Because I remember, guys, I don't know if this is like really embarrassing to admit, but when the Chiefs were playing the Patriots for the first time, I had a Rollin' with Mahomes t-shirt. I was like the biggest Patrick Mahomes supporter. I was like, I need him to win MVP. And now I'm just like, I'm so tired of Patrick Mahomes. Like, I can't do it anymore. So obviously this matchup, I'm curious for like non-Eagles, non-Chiefs fans to let me know how they're feeling in this game. I saw some go Cowboys. I know there's some Niner fans in here, but are people that don't have a team playing in this game, are you rooting for the Eagles? Are you rooting for the Chiefs? Are you rooting for Kendrick Lamar? Let me know in the comments kind of where you're riding with it. I saw one person, I don't know if you're an Eagles fan or not, but it was an Oklahoma Sooner fan rooting for Jalen Hurts. Let's go. Jason got a card reading and he interpreted it as an Eagles win. I will take that. Let's go. Go Birds, go Birds. Maybe I'm too confident, but I don't think the rest will be able to make a difference in this game. I like your energy. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I love them. I think people will regret the Chiefs hate once it's over. And I honestly think you are 100% right. Just because I even felt that a little bit with Tom Brady. Like, I remember when Tom Brady went to Tampa, and it was just like, I grew up with Tom Brady. He haunted my entire life. And then it was like, you obviously hate him. You're sick of him. But then when it was towards the end of his career, I remember being very sad when he retired and sad that the dynasty was over. So I definitely think that's a fair take of, we may be annoyed by the Chiefs now, but in a few years, we are going to respect what they've been able to do. However, unfortunately, they're just not going to get a three-peat under their belt. At least not this year, because the Eagles are going to put a stop to it. And this is a very good point. The last Philly Super Bowl rematch we had, we won, which is really awesome. Most people are rooting for the Not Like Us at the halftime show and a meteor to hit the stadium before the final bell. See, this is what I figured. Would I love the whole nation to be like, go Birds? Someone just asked, am I mean? Yeah, probably. Sometimes, especially today. Let's go. Shouldn't you be assaulting a Chiefs fan? No. I'm not going to assault anybody. Will I verbally abuse you? Maybe. Kidding. All right. I have anxiety. OMG, I do too. You were probably a 49ers fan last year. Then you clearly don't know me. Really want this win for the roster. They've been doing amazing. I know. I completely agree. I've been an Eagles fan since 1973. Wow, let's go. Go Birds. Score prediction. All right, let's get into some score predictions. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I have a feeling this is going to be a very close game. I know the over is set at right around 48.5. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5, which I actually like. Again, I think we're the better team, but we perform better as quote unquote underdogs. So I kind of liked that Vegas has everything leaning slightly towards the Chiefs. Again, 1.5 point line isn't doing much, but I'm predicting like a 36-31 Eagles win, 34-31. I think it'll be close because it's Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. This is where he thrives. This is what he does. What I love the Eagles to pull away and get it done in a very comfortable fashion. Blowout Super Bowl game. Yes. Give me exactly what happened in the NFC Championship game, please. But again, the superstitions. If I went into this game as a really cocky bastard and was like, oh, the Patrick Mahomes doesn't stand a chance. Eagles are going to get it done. We're going to Birds by a million. I just feel like that's not putting good energy out into the universe. And I need this win more than I need anything. And I avoided this comment earlier, but I'm going to circle back to it. There was one that was asking, how will you feel if the Eagles lose? I'm gonna be quite honest. I don't think anyone is going to want to be around me for a very, very long time. It has been very tough as a Philadelphia sports fan in general over the last few years. And people may say I'm dramatic for saying tough just because our teams have won. Our teams have been winning, not the Sixers, clearly. Or the Flyers, but the Flyers aren't hurting anyone's feelings, so they don't count in this conversation. But the Eagles have really heightened and lowered emotions over the last few years. The Phillies have been an emotional roller coaster. The Union made it to a championship and lost on the same day that the Phillies lost the World Series. And again, this is over the span of the last few years. But that sticks with you as a Phillies fan or as a Philly sports fan, when it's your entire personality and everything that you look forward to. So for the sake of this, and again, anyone outside of the Philadelphia area is going to think that this is so dramatic, but if the Eagles lose, don't expect to hear from me right away. Just because we need a victory so bad, and we've come so close and we've tasted it so many times. And again, I know I've talked about it kind of extensively this season, but this Eagles team is different than any team that we've had in a very long time across all. This beats the 2017 Eagles for me, which I didn't even think was physically possible. I loved that team so much. And talk about underdog mentality with that team. Like, we won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles at quarterback, Corey Clement as our running back, like Nelson Aguilar, Alshon Jeffrey. Like, these weren't quote unquote star players that were able to come in and take down the Chiefs dynasty, take down their attempt at a three-peat. And that team, just kind of that next man up mentality, was really, really special. And again, I didn't think anything would ever come close, and I will never forget that team because they brought this city a Super Bowl victory for the first time ever. However, in the new Super Bowl era, before anyone comes for me, but this team specifically is even different. And again, means so much to me. So I am really, really hoping that we get it done. But let's go. The thing that makes me nervous is that Mahomes is such a clutch quarterback, and we all know this game is going to be tight. I agree. It's Flyer cry tonight. Let's go. I just pray all stay calm and disciplined. Don't pull Ravens and lose the script. I completely agree. Let's see. I see go Eagles, go Birds, go Birds. Patrick Mahomes is out. Let's go Chiefs. I'm a Niners fan. Yeah. Last year's Super Bowl, Jesus Christ. That's what upset me so much about all these people being like, oh, I'm not watching the Super Bowl this year. Chiefs versus Eagles. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, as an Eagles fan, I had to watch Chiefs versus Niners last year, which was a nightmare, because everyone knows there's kind of just like this unattested rivalry between the Niners and the Eagles. And after this season, I feel like it kind of died off a little bit. We'll see next year kind of what brings. But after the NFC Championship game from a few years ago between the Niners and Eagles, there's just been this kind of animosity between the two fan bases. I know I got a lot of hate from Niners fans, and I don't usually comment hate just because I know how it feels, but I definitely talk a lot of smack on the Niners. At least I did before this season. Yeah. But yeah, I had to watch that game, and I did it. So everyone can watch, and you will live, and it's going to be fine. Go Birds. Here we go. You know, the Chiefs have the refs in their back pocket. I know. We discussed this a little bit already. Would you trade? This is a very good question. Would you trade our wait, real quick. Super Bowl, the Super Bowl America didn't want, but fly Eagles fly, I guess. I feel like that is the best mindset to have right now. But would you trade our 2017 Super Bowl win for a 2025 Super Bowl win? I literally don't even know how to answer that, because like I said, 2017 was so special because it was our first. So I don't know how to trade away our first. Like, that was something. And again, I watched that game with my mom, who's obviously been an Eagles fan her entire life. She's the reason I became an Eagles fan. So like to see her kind of have that moment too was so special. But again, like this Eagles team is different. Again, that's a really tough question. And I don't want to jinx anything for today, but I just don't know how you trade our first ever Super Bowl win. If we had like won before that, maybe, but that was one of the things that made it so special. So here we go. Eagles save America. Let's frickin' go. We Niners fans don't really care about the Eagles. We just think the fans are shitheads. Throwing batteries at Santa kind of warrants that reputation. Okay, but that was like the when did that happen? 60s, 70s? I know it was a while ago. When did Eagles fans throw? 1968, okay? I think we've all developed a little bit from 1968, shall we? Why would you want to trade when you can have both? This is the best point. Again, that was a great question. But yeah, we can have 2017 and 2025. Let's go. Let's go. Luckily, we don't need to make those trades. We're getting both. Hell yeah. Let's go. Pottstown check-in. Hello, hello. CJ Gardner Johnson is a Travis Hunter today. Most Eagles fans are just not good people, but you don't seem bad. Thank you. Here we go. I will say as a Chiefs fan, I just want a close game. Chiefs win. Here we go. Are you from Philly? I'm not from Philly. I'm from South Jersey. I'm an Eagles fan today. Jordan, sip water reminder. But okay, we don't have water right now, but we do have a Celsius. But we are 51 minutes into our extended live stream. Let's freaking go. We are going to be answering a bunch of questions. Please drop anything that you have. I could not be more excited for this game. Today is going to be awesome. Here we go. All right. Luckily, we don't need to make a trade. We're getting both. I'm getting caught up on some comments here. I'm getting go Chiefs and go Birds in my comment section on TikTok. South Jersey, I'm near LBI. I actually love LBI. I worked at Tucker's Tavern for a summer, which was one of the best summers of my life. I absolutely loved it there. LBI is really special. Go Birds from Jersey. Let's go. Eagles are the worst fans. Hell yeah. No one likes us. We don't care. If we win at the coin toss, defer or start? Defer. I'd rather us have the ball after half. Personally. Here we go. That's another good point. Are you going to Broad Street tonight? I don't know. I'm very torn because I'm not in my prime anymore. The last time that the Eagles won, I was, oh my God, how old was I? 19? That's disgusting. Yeah, I was like 19 or 20 the last time the Eagles won, and it was college. Tomorrow, I do have to go to work. And then, as I mentioned earlier, if anyone's still listening, I am speaking at Rowan University tomorrow to their sports communication and media department. So hopefully any Rowan profs that are there, let's go. So I don't know if I'm going to be heading into Broad Street tonight. We'll see on the vibes, because I say this now, but I have a feeling if they win, I'm going to be like, I need to be running around the streets of Philadelphia with a bunch of Eagles fans. So we'll see if my logical reasoning will stay after the game. But I will for sure attend the parade. So I hope to see you there. Here we go. Not in your prime. You're under 30. Let's go, girl. You can do it. No, I know technically I'm under 30, but I'm not physically. Here we go. I might have to root for the Eagles. Thank you. Root for the Eagles because of me. Let's go. I will convert everybody. Girl, you're in your prime. Let's go. Hey, Jordan. Hey, Ben. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm pulling for your Birds tonight. Let's go. I'm feeling a big Saquon birthday game. I agree. And we talked about this earlier in the show. That I do think the Chiefs are going to do whatever they can to stop Saquon, but I just think it's momentum that is really, really going to push him that extra mile. which I think is going to be really, really special and fun. And also, did everyone see the voicemail that his daughter left for him ahead of the game? I'm sorry. Even if you're not an Eagles fan, there's no way that you could listen to that without getting emotional. Jesus Christ. And if that isn't going to motivate him, I don't know what will. Absolutely, absolutely incredible stuff. I feel like Brown is going to get the first touchdown. I just really hope that AJ Brown does score a touchdown. We are in our podcast prime, that's for sure. Thank you, guys. Let's go. No way Saquon has 16 yards off 7 carries like Miles had in Super Bowl 57. You know, I genuinely, and again, this may be just like what I want, my bias, but I genuinely think Saquon's going to go off. But I really do hope that AJ Brown gets some big moments. And obviously the blessing and the curse of having a lot of weapons on one team is like not everyone can get the ball every game or have big games every game. And so I know Smitty was utilized a lot in our last Super Bowl. I really, really want AJ to do something today. But then again, we have Dallas Goedert that could really open things up for us. I want turnovers on defense. Like I just want everybody amped this entire game. What's happening with Slay after today? That's a really good question. There were reports, I think it was like right before, like very early on in our playoff run, that reports came out that were like Slay will not be playing in Philly next year. And when I initially saw the report, I was like, oh, okay, he's going to retire because obviously he's an older player. And then I was like, no, he's going to go somewhere else. Like he wants to play. It's just not in Philly. So I don't really know what to expect for Darius Slay after this game. And I think it really will come down to how we perform in the outcome. I think that's going to be a really big determining factor, but he is an older player. He's obviously still Slay. He still makes big plays for us, but there's also a lot that he misses. And the one thing that I always laugh about is no matter what during a game, Darius Slay at some point is going to limp off to the sidelines and be out for a brief moment. And then he's going to come back here and he's going to do phenomenal. And that's just what happens. So I love Slay, but the way that we've been kind of developing players and kind of prepping for this, I feel good. Slay wants a bag, why not retire a bird? Here we go. Let's have the Kellen Moore conversation because I just got a comment. Kellen Moore better be locked in. And so for those that don't know, Kellen Moore plans to finalize the deal to become the Saints' next head coach. And this has been a really, really interesting turn of events just because there was a lot of talks of him becoming the Saints' next head coach. Then it kind of came out that it was like, no, he doesn't want it. No one wants the Saints coaching job. He's going to stay. And I was like, awesome, fantastic. Now, as of the last 48 hours, it's like, oh no, the deal is basically finalized. And the only thing I haven't even really been thinking, there were a few things that happened this week. There were all the rumors about Jalen Carter and Eagles players having the flu, which again, I put my blinders on and I was like, I'm not going to read about this. I'm not going to focus on this. I'm not going to stress about this because no matter what, we're going to be fine. This is another one of those things. Kellen Moore becoming the Saints next head coach is another thing that I'm putting blinders on. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry about it right now. But if we're being fully transparent and honest, which I guess we have to talk about, it does make me a little anxious just because of what we saw from Jonathan Gannon in our last Super Bowl. And it was like he kind of already knew that he had a head coaching job somewhere else. And our defense completely fell apart. The stat, again, I'm going to bring it up for the third time. 2 years ago, the Eagles became the second Super Bowl team in history to lead the NFL in sacks and not score one during the big game. And just overall that game, our defense did not look like our defense. Things were sloppy. And I don't know if that was coincidence. I don't know if that was Jonathan Gannon checking out just because, again, he already knew that he had a job. And I'm just really, really praying that Kellen Moore, again, my boyfriend brought up the point earlier in our comment section that we just need one more Kellen Moore masterclass. And I'm really hoping that he can put on the blinders, focus on this game, and then go and do whatever you want to do with the Saints. But this is one thing that really pisses me off about the NFL in general. I don't even understand why organizations are allowed to interview and poach coaches while their season is still going on. I think you should be allowed, like, if you want to make a list of like, here are the coaches that we want to interview to fill our head coaching job and have that come out, fine, whatever, do what you got to do. But I really don't think these organizations should be allowed to get close to finalizing or having really, really intense interviews until the coach's season is over. To me, that seems fair. I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think, but yeah. Welcome to the frustration of Detroit Lions fans. Exactly. Like, you really do see a fall off from these coordinators when they're focused on other areas. And obviously, they're professionals. They want the promotion, they want the new job. All power to you, but just do it after your season with your current organization has ended, because now you're just screwing. You're screwing the city, you're screwing the players, you're screwing the team. For what? For what? Like Jonathan Gannon. It's just mind-boggling to me. But yeah, and this is the other thing with that frustrates me so much, because I really want to talk about Jalen Hurts and just how phenomenal and talented and wonderful he is and how he consistently gets disrespected. This is going to be, I may get this number wrong, but Kellen Moore, I believe, was his third or fourth offensive coordinator since being the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is really absurd. And now we're going to have to go through that process again and find a right fit for him again. And the Eagles, obviously we had the collapse at the end of last year with the Super Bowl loss the year before. Like, things haven't been perfect, but the Eagles are a winning organization. They win games, and Jalen Hurts does an excellent job of ensuring that happens. And so I'm really tired of everyone kind of just being like, oh, he's a system quarterback. It's like, okay, well, every single year he has a different system. And especially this year, everyone talked about the fact that the Eagles lost so many veterans and we were going to completely fall off. And we had such a young team. Our defense was going to be the biggest challenge coming into the season. And then, hello, we had the number 1 ranked defense and all this shit. And so it's just crazy to me that like Jalen Hurts is not kind of getting the accolades that some other quarterbacks are getting. But yeah, not going to mention this great young defense. Of course I am. I was just, thank you. That was literally the segue I was getting to. Because yeah, like I said, our defense had zero expectations. If you go back to my content from before the season started, I kept saying that our defense was the number 1 thing that was making me extremely, extremely nervous. We lost key pieces. We had a lot of young pieces. There were a lot of question marks about Vic Fangio coming in. I was very excited when we got Vic Fangio. That is exactly who I wanted. And especially with a young defense, I just thought Vic Fangio was the best person for the job. And we saw exactly how that has played out, coaching his hometown team towards the end of his career, just very poetic in every sense. But yeah, so it's just a lot. But yeah, so going back to my initial point, I hope Kellen Moore holds it together for this game. I want to see exactly what we saw from the NFC Championship game as far as performance from Jalen Hurts. And then our defense just has to keep doing what they've done all year. And I'm sorry, the Eagles win that game. If Jalen Hurts plays the way he did last week, or 2 weeks ago now, and the defense holds it down, Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, even though you're Patrick Mahomes, you will not be able to stop this team. Let's go. People don't realize how great Hurts was a couple years ago against KC in the Super Bowl. Exactly. And then obviously I'm not taking away any recognition from Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all of these guys who are out there in all of these major conversations, phenomenal quarterbacks, but Jalen Hurts does not get put in the same conversations as them. And I just can't understand why, because Joe Burrow has obviously seen a Super Bowl and lost. Jalen Hurts is seeing his second Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson hasn't gotten there. Josh Allen hasn't gotten there. And Jalen Hurts keeps making the point of like, I'm not worried about my stats as a quarterback. I'm worried about wins for the organization. Quote unquote, when did winning not become the main thing? And so let's go. That was my Jalen Hurts Eagles rant. I'm getting fired up, guys. We are hours away from the Eagles playing in Super Bowl Sunday. What? We're at 5.5 hours at 1:05. I've been live here for an hour. Thank God. I have my wonderful, wonderful fans and supporters, specifically Avon here, that gave me the idea for the sporty hours. So we are past an hour and we are not stopping. So drop your questions, drop your comments. We are talking all things Super Bowl Sunday, heading up to the big game. I can promise another half hour here. And if you guys want more, then we'll keep going. So let's freaking go. I'm going to get to some comments here because I just went on an extended rant about the Eagles. And we are going to get caught up here. So let's go. Do you think that there's any way that we can get Micah Parsons on the Eagles and have another Nittany Lion on the team? You know, he wants to come and get off the Cowboys roster. I have been making jokes about Micah Parsons becoming an Eagle for the last 2 years. But now I'm officially at the point where I'm like, it is eventually going to happen. And I don't know if it's going to be this offseason, but I can absolutely see it happening. And then I just feel like it completes the trifecta of the Eagles stealing from other teams in the NFC East. We got Saquon. We got Jahan Dotson, which I know was not as exciting as we intended it to be. But he has had some big plays. And it just took a piece away from Washington. And so I think if we can get Micah Parsons, it would be really, really cool. However, this offseason, I really, really want Myles Garrett. And you guys can give me your opinions on this. I don't know where the majority of people stand. I understand that this would be an expensive piece to take on at the end of the career, but at the end of his career, or not at the end, but towards the end of his career, he's still Myles Garrett, still doing Myles Garrett things. So I don't really care. But Myles Garrett wants to win. He has the Philly dog mentality to a T. Okay. And again, we talked about it earlier. The Eagles have a young defense right now. And I just think that Myles Garrett veteran mentorship and experience and knowledge coming into the locker room would be monumental. I think, to me, it's worth every penny. You guys let me know what you think. I'm going to look at some comments here. Let's go. Get Miles or Davis for a first and a second. Go Chiefs. No, Micah belongs with the Cowboys. Okay, so we're talking about Micah here. I see some Myles Garrett. But yeah, no, I just really, really want Myles Garrett to be an Eagle. I think that would be really, really fun. I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. I just got a comment. I just got back from doing a shot at Jetro. Had to toast the birds. Let's go. That is one of my favorite lots. That is a lot that I always go to specifically for Phillies games. I love that energy. Let's go. Get Miles. Okay, I completely agree. Steelers fan here. Go Birds. Let's go. Commanders. I have a Commanders fan in here saying the Commanders will be back. The Commanders will be back. That's why I want to win right now, because Jaden Daniels, I mean, we saw how impressive he was in his rookie season. Phenomenal things. He is going to haunt the NFC East. This is going to be a long-standing rivalry between the Eagles and the Commanders for a long time. I'm very excited to watch how it plays out. And I made the joke, if you guys are new to the Sporty Hour, my dad and his whole side of the family grew up in Annapolis, Maryland. They're Commanders fans. So tense rivalry in the family sometimes. Yes, my Aunt Fran is in here now saying Commanders will be back. Jaden Daniels deserves a ring soon. So yeah, that's why I want the Eagles to kind of win now, get it out, because I do think we are the NFC East is not the NFC least anymore. It's really competitive between the Eagles and the Commanders. We'll see what the Cowboys are able to do. The Giants are rebuilding, obviously, but this isn't a division that we can just breeze through anymore. So let's get the dub today. And yeah, I made the joke before the season. I was like, yeah, like the Commanders would have been great 4 years ago, like Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, all of these guys that, like, again, are slightly out of their prime. And Jaden Daniels doing phenomenal things. My boyfriend was telling me this morning that the Jaden Daniels, even after this game, is still realistically going to have the most passing yards throughout this postseason. Terry McLaurin is going to have the most receiving yards or touchdowns. I can't remember what it was. I should have written it down. But like it just shows how great that they played regular season, postseason. And yeah, I give Jaden Daniels, everyone knows. So again, obviously my Eagles fandom is taking over right now. When I do long form content, I try and be unbiased NFL and talk about the league as a whole. I have a jersey collection of all of my favorite players that are non-Eagles as well. And everyone knows that if Jaden Daniels was not in the NFC East, his jersey would be hanging in my closet. However, I just cannot have a Commanders jersey in my possession because it just screams bad luck, bad juju. But I have Lamar in there. I have Justin Herbert in there. I have CJ Stroud in there. I have all my favorites. But yeah, so Jaden Daniels deserves the world, unfortunately. And yeah, let's have the Eagles get it done today. Let's go. I'm going to get back. How much do you expect Brandon Graham to play tonight? I feel like not many people are talking about it. Yes. So I am very excited for Brandon Graham to be back. I do not expect this to be like Brandon Graham back at 100% level. He definitely is rushing to come back a little bit. He said that he would not do it if he didn't feel 100% confident in the decision, but obviously he was not supposed to play at all this season. But I am expecting a few snaps from him, and I would love one big Brandon Graham play. Like, I just want him to go out there and have one moment that's like, yes. And that would be enough for me. If he plays 5 snaps and does one exciting thing, I think that's enough. But also, personally, I just think it's enough to even have him active, have him in the uniform, have him there, because we know how much his energy brings to the team. And again, I keep referring back to it, but we have a young defense. So to have Eagles Philadelphia legend Brandon Graham be there and be a part of everything and encouraging everybody, it's going to be a huge difference maker. Yards prediction for Hurts and Barkley. So I've been doing Barkley at 140 rushing yards every game this postseason, and I'm not gonna lie, I may keep that up today. Maybe I knock it down a little bit and do like 120, 125 for Barkley. Hurts. So last week was his first game since mid-November with over 200 passing yards. So I'll probably take Hurts if I'm putting Barkley that high. Let's put Hurts at 100 and fuck it. We'll do Hurts at 185 plus alternate passing yards, and then we'll have him at 45 plus rushing yards. 2 passing touchdowns. 2 rushing touchdowns. No interceptions. Let's go. All right, I got some Chiefs fans in the comments here. Here we go. Oh my God, stop. Let's go. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for all the support in the comment section here. Someone said you think you have a chance. I do. I think the Eagles are literally winning. Dotson has to compete with AJ, a former Heisman winner, Devontae. It's difficult to stand out. And yes, exactly. Let's go. Yes, big BG play. I fully trust Howie. It's probably Big G's last game. He's going to come through for us. I agree. Mike up BG. 180 was my bet. Saquon's going to have at least 100 rushing yards for sure. Let's freaking go. NFL honors aftermath. Let's definitely talk about NFL honors. Just because I was actually shocked with a little bit of NFL honors picks. Obviously the biggest one was Saquon winning offensive player of the year, which that was the only one I was really not shocked by. Obviously we knew he was going to win offensive player of the year because the NFL refused to give MVP to anyone that isn't a quarterback. And I know Josh Allen has kind of divided everybody in terms of deserving to win MVP. It's impossible to root against Josh Allen unless he's playing the Eagles. I'm in no way upset that he won. MVP, because let's be real, MVP is most valuable player. The Bills are nothing without Josh Allen. I didn't even expect the Bills to make the postseason if you look at my preseason prediction video, and they made the AFC Championship game. They lost Stephon Diggs. That their run game felt really weak. Like it just didn't seem they had it didn't seem like they had any of the pieces to get anything done. And Josh Allen is the one holding them together, doing everything. So I understand that his stats compared to Lamar weren't up to the standard, but Lamar now has pieces and he has Derrick Henry. So again, if they wanted to give it to Josh Allen for making the AFC Championship game, even though it's not technically supposed to be a postseason award, whatever. But yeah, that shocked me. But again, I wasn't too upset about it. And like, very, very good person, good individual. I saw everyone referring to it as a Make-A-Wish MVP just because they felt so bad that he wouldn't get to the Super Bowl, which I thought was really, really funny. But personally, quarterback I thought should have won it was Lamar, if we're being honest. And again, it just seems like they're kind of sick of giving it to him, which I don't even know how you do that. If you're good and you keep winning. But whatever. Jordy, thank you. Hey, what would I do without you? Let's go. But yeah, so I was shocked by the pick. I think Jalen Hurts deserved to be in MVP conversations if Josh Allen was able to win it. Because hello, if you look at their stats, very eerily similar. I do think, again, quarterback, it should have been Lamar. Again, not even biasly speaking, because if you look back on my content from years ago, I made the same argument for Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry, not if it's MVP, it should not just be a quarterback. But I had a feeling that since Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor did not win it a few years ago when they were out there doing phenomenal things, I knew Saquon wasn't going to get it this year, but I just think it's ridiculous because Saquon genuinely was MVP. And at this point, I think they should just make a quarterback of the year award and an MVP award. I don't understand why they don't at this point, but yeah, I was really shocked. Got one comment here. Joe Burrow over Sam Darnold for comeback player of the year. I feel so bad for Joe Burrow, being honest. That was Sam Darnold's award. Joe Burrow, I understand, suffers from the injury bug, but nothing, like he wasn't coming back from anything major this year. And even his speech, he was like, this is an award you want to be nominated for multiple times. And Sam Darnold literally was comeback player of the year. He's went from backup quarterback to having one of the best records in, what was the stat? It was the first 14-win team to not win their division. Like Sam Darnold, and this is a regular season award, had the most unbelievable regular season considering the expectations that were set upon him. Wasn't even supposed to start. They draft JJ McCarthy to be their guy. Goes down before the season even starts. Crazy. But yeah, then Joe Burrow was even talking about at media week ahead of the Super Bowl, he's like, I deserve MVP. Like I was playing my best ball. And he was obviously nominated for MVP, but won comeback player of the year, which I think is so funny. Let's go. How many sacks are you expecting from each team? Oh, this is a really good question. I would love Brandon Graham to record a sack today. I'm going to say that the Eagles get 4 and I'll give the Chiefs 2. Because again, I'm not trying to be totally biased here. The Chiefs do have a really strong defense. And again, I'm hoping that if I put good juju into the universe, that we will get good juju back in return and not Juju Smith-Schuster. Fuck you today, at least. Let's go. If Saquon rushed for 3,000 plus yards, he's MVP, no doubt. And this is what, again, we had this conversation on my podcast. So if you listen there and this is a little repetitive, I apologize. But if Saquon did get the opportunity to play that last week of the season and break the record, which again, I think if we let him play, he easily would have done. That may have pushed him over the edge to win MVP. But again, I really don't even think they would have given it to him at that point. It should be, yeah. It should be two different awards. Separate quarterback award, I agree. And yes, someone comment in my comments somewhere, someone mentioned that the last non-quarterback was Adrian Peterson to win MVP. And it was back in 2012, I believe. Here, it was back in 2012. And yeah, Saquon Barkley is doing significantly more. So I think he got snubbed. But yeah, I was also disappointed for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Obviously, Quinyon and Cooper DeJean were both nominated. Quinyon, if you watch my preseason prediction video, Quinyon was my pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I understand, as much as I hate Jared Verse right now for all the shit that he talked about the Eagles before our divisional round game, he had an unbelievable rookie season. So I was really sure that he was going to get it. However, I would have loved if Quinyon did it. And personally, again, very different positions, but Quinyon was putting up unbelievable stat lines, unbelievable numbers. And I think there was absolutely a valid argument for him to win it. I love that Cooper was nominated. I think Cooper's doing unbelievable, but he didn't even become a starter till week 6. So if an Eagle was going to win that award, I think it should have been Quinyon. But again, what are you going to do? Let's go. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Happy birthday, Coop and Saquon and Vince Papali. You get included in our birthday wishes too. I have 99 plus comments on TikTok. So we are going to do a quick scroll on here and get caught up. Hello, my TikTok fam. The first comment I saw 2 back-to-back. Go Chiefs and Chiefs by 10. I'm going to scroll. There's a go Eagles. Let's go. Let's go. Tell Dallas to score. Rather it be Bills versus Birds. Yeah, I think KC is going to win. Giants fan wishing Barkley for the win. That is freaking awesome. Let's go. Oh, Eagles 55, 23. Let's go back to our NFC Championship score. They should give Saquon Barkley a statue of him hurtling backwards. Don't think anybody else will ever do that again. I got to watch that play happen in person. I was there at that game. And it was one of those moments where it's like the second you saw it happen, you knew you just witnessed history, because absolutely, what the heck? Phenomenal. Let's go. Let's go Chiefs. Go Chiefs. Chiefs are going to three-peat. Ew! Okay, I'm getting away from my TikTok comments because this is just getting ugly. Let's go. All right, here we go. I got some go Eagles. Go Eagles. Chiefs always win. Eagles fans acting like they didn't hate Saquon not even a year ago. Okay, obviously, I never hated Saquon, first off. Did I hardcore root against him? Yes. And if you go back on my account, when the Eagles still had DeAndre Swift, I was like, listen, we don't need to make this big of a move for a running back. I literally said, just sign DeAndre Swift. However, unlike some people, I can admit when I'm wrong. And that was a freezing cold take on my end. But obviously the Giants, Saquon Barkley's been phenomenal, but the Giants obviously did not set him up for success in the way that the Eagles were able to. I was really nervous about relying on a running back with an injury history for sure. But this just goes to show when you take care of players and when you put the right pieces around them, they're built to last. And again, I could not have been proven more wrong. So obviously, same thing with Micah Parsons. Obviously, am I going to root against Micah Parsons right now as he's actively a Dallas Cowboy? Of course. Can I acknowledge how talented of a player he is minus the Cowboys jersey? Of course. And if he ever became an Eagle, I would be the happiest person ever, because it's removing a strong piece from one of my division rivals. So, hello. That'd be like the same thing if the Eagles if the Giants all of a sudden traded for Jalen Hurts and you guys had a capable quarterback under center, you guys would be just as excited, even if you hated him throughout his entire career as an Eagle. So I understand the animosity. However, that take to me doesn't make total sense. if the NFL wouldn't allow Tom Brady and the Pats to three-peat, they won't allow the Chiefs repeat either. I agree. Let's go. Hurts is asked though. No, that's my QB1. I would die for my QB1. Again, Jalen Hurts should have been in MVP conversations. You know what? Just to shut this up real quick, I'm actually going to do a Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts stat comparison. And I looked at this a few weeks ago, and it was crazy close. So we're going to see the MVP of the league compared to Jalen Hurts. StatHead is pulling this up for me right now. Let's go. Okay. Oh, no, this is overall games. I just need to see show criteria. All seasons. No, choose season for all choices. 1920. Let's do 2024. 2024. Get results. We are going to compare. Okay. So Josh obviously played 2 more games than Jalen because he had the concussion. But Jalen Hurts' overall completion percentage is significantly better, 68.7% compared to Josh Allen's 63.6%. Josh Allen had significantly more pass yards. Jalen Hurts had 1 less interception with a higher QB rating. I need to do 48 more rush attempts with 130 more rushing yards. And then also 2 more rush touchdowns. So I'm sorry. If you want to compare these two, like pull up StatHead and look at the comparison. If you are going to acknowledge Josh Allen as league MVP, then Jalen Hurts, you cannot say his ass because they are they play the game very, very similarly. And yeah, Jalen's seen 2 Super Bowls. And again, no hate on Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen, but here we go. Allen played 1 snap in week 18. Yeah. Oh my God. Blast from the past. Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick is an afterthought. His situation has not been better since he left. Oh my God. You would have thought that the Hassan Reddick situation was going to kill me this offseason. I was distraught, devastated when we did not bring Hassan Reddick back. And no attack on Sweat because he had a good year, but I wanted Hassan Reddick significantly more than I wanted Sweat at the time. I was like, if it comes down to the 2 of them, keep Reddick. And then obviously we didn't. And then he had his whole weird situation with the Jets, which I don't know how much that was on him compared to how much it was on the Jets, but it was just a very, very weird situation. And yeah, I thought that was going to be detrimental to us this season, and it just wasn't. And now I bet he really wishes he stayed. Let's go. Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. I'm just being honest. I agree. But yeah. Here we go. As an Eagles fan, agree. Compare sacks between them. I think Allen had like none. Yeah, crazy. I hope they both lose. Let's go. I'm seeing so many let's go Eagles. JP24, let's go. Hurts is not top 5. I think Hurts is top 5. Am I biased? Yeah, but go Birds. I don't care. Here we go. And here's some talks about Saquon Barkley. Diehard Eagles fans, I never hated Saquon. I hated admitting that he was my favorite player to watch when he was in New York, but Barry announcing him as Offensive Player of the Year was like a warm blanket to me. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. Are there any more comments on here that I missed? No. All right, guys, we are approaching the 1 hour and 30-minute mark of the Sporty Hours. I'm probably going to be going live here for another 15 minutes. So make sure to drop any questions. We are going to be hopping off here right around 1:45 p.m. Eastern time so I can get the buffalo chicken dip in the oven so we can pregame this massive game. I have some comments here. Hurts is a Saquon merchant. Hurts was doing these things before Saquon. Saquon has completely elevated us and put us on a different level because he is one of the greatest football players I've ever seen. But yeah, I still don't think that takes away from what Hurts has been able to do. Why is the Super Bowl on a Sunday? Us in the UK have to go to work. Babes, us in the US have to go to work. It's the most absurd thing ever. Next year, though, I do think it's going to be the first time. I could get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that next year is the first time that the Super Bowl is going to fall on President's Weekend, or they're fighting to have it fall on President's Weekend. So that majority of people do get that Monday off. Having to watch the Super Bowl from the UK. Is that fun? Is there a lot of NFL fans in the UK that are like as passionate about the Super Bowl as they are in the US? I mean, obviously I know that we go to London to play. There are obviously UK fans, but does everyone over there take it as seriously as USA? That's what I'm very, very curious to know. Dun, 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 dun. People hate winners. I'm seeing a lot of three-peat. I don't think y'all are going to repeat. We are the Eagles are the dynasty killer, guys. We stopped the Pats from the three-peat. Now it's time to stop the Chiefs from the repeat. Let's go. Chiefs money line. Dun, 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 dun. The game is at like 4:30 a.m. The game is going to end at 4:30 a.m. That's crazy. Germany here. I took 2 days off. Let's go. Dun, dun, dun. I have so many international fans in here. Eagles might be too good. I don't know. Eagles on top. Go Hurts. Fly, Eagles, fly. Dun, dun, dun. Go Chiefs. F the Eagles. Everyone's entitled to opinions, even if they're wrong. Why is the Monday after the Super Bowl not considered a holiday? Who gives a F about President's Day? I completely agree. Super Bowl should be on a Saturday. I know. I'm going to be absolutely exhausted tomorrow. But I don't know. And this is the thing. It's like, I understand it makes more sense for the Super Bowl to be on a Saturday, but then I feel like it takes away like the sentiment of like NFL Sunday. Like, I'd prefer to just make that Monday a national holiday. I don't know if that's possible, but I still think it's fun. Let's go. Giants fan here, but rooting for the Birds. I'm so happy to see how many Giants fans here are rooting for the Eagles and rooting on Saquon Barkley in a positive way. I got to experience a little bit of that for the NFC Championship game because, like I've mentioned a few times on the pod, my actual podcast co-host Sam is a Giants fan. So obviously we've had some words back and forth in regards to Saquon Barkley and everything that's kind of unfolded this season, but she was with me for the NFC Championship game where we got to watch. And it was crazy because she literally said, she was like, I'm rooting for Saquon's happiness and I'm rooting for your happiness. She was like, I will not say that I'm happy that the Eagles are going to win, but if it makes you happy and if it makes Saquon happy, that's all I need. And I was like, you know what? That is a very fair take. I will happily take that. But at one point, her just inherent Giants fandom came out, and I think it was Quignon's interception, where of course I'm screaming bloody murder, and she just inherently goes, no, because that's what she normally does during an Eagles positive play. And then she immediately looked at me and was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that. That was just like my initial reaction. But let's go. Dun, 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 dun. I'm taking a shot every time the Chiefs score. Oh boy. Go Eagles. Good luck tonight. Thank you. Let's go. Who should I make an athlete edit of? Quinyon Mitchell, my new favorite Philadelphia Eagle. If the Eagles have a 10-point or less lead into the fourth quarter, the Chiefs definitely will win. I don't know. The Eagles, I mean, we saw what happened against the Rams, and obviously the Rams are not Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but that got really close, and we were still able to figure out a way to get it done. So let's go. Like I said, there were some key points that I talked about significantly earlier in the live stream that I wanted to circle back to. Again, the biggest thing is starting strong, get Saquon Barkley running fresh out the gate, establish that run game early. I would really like us to put up points, specifically touchdowns early on, obviously get the ball rolling. I really want to see some of the extended drives that we've been able to put together throughout this entire season. I want to see those continuously throughout the game. Keep Patrick Mahomes off the field as much as possible and really, really tire out that defense. I know one of my followers, one of my viewers, super early on asked what I want to do if the Eagles are able to win the coin toss. Defer, absolutely defer. Come back hot after the half and just kind of assert that dominance. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's the Chiefs and not even just Patrick Mahomes. Let's talk about Andy Reid. Obviously we all know what he means to Philly, for what he was able to do, but today he's not with Philly. He's on the opposing side. And he's one of the greatest coaches ever. And you know that they're going to come out with these, unique plays. I mean, we saw like the circle one, like they do get very creative and we really have to be prepared for everything. So I just hope the Eagles can come out and kind of have some of that as well. But again, if they were kind of holding back the play calling up until the NFC Championship game, and then they kind of unleashed last week, I hope they continue to do that today. So let's go. Let's go. No hate. I'm just a Swiftie. I'm a Swiftie too. This is really, really tough for me. But the only time that I ever root against Taylor Swift's happiness is when it comes to the NFL. And you know what? She's new here. She hasn't lived. She showed up and has now experienced 2 Super Bowls back to back. She's going to be like, why does every team not go to the Super Bowl if it's this easy? And I want to be like, no, Taylor, babes, your boyfriend just happens to play with one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, and the NFL really supports your team. You're very lucky. It's going to be very, very fun and easy for you. But we need to humble her a little bit today. She needs to know how it feels. Let's go. Taylor Swift doesn't even really like football. Yeah, that's the thing, because obviously she has Gold Rush, which I love the soft Taylor hate. It's not hate. It's just what am I? Again, I think it's humble her. And listen, she's been toying with me. I have been expecting Reputation Taylor's version for the last 2.5 years, and I have not gotten it yet. So you know what? She can handle a Super Bowl loss, because I have been through the trenches with my favorite person. Will Taylor become an Eagles fan when Travis retires? So this is one of the points that I was getting to, because obviously Travis has 2 songs written about him now, The Alchemy and So High School. But before The Alchemy and So High School, there was Gold Rush, where Taylor Swift, quote unquote, says, with my Eagles t-shirt hanging from your door. And I had to fight tooth and nail to get everyone to be like, no, she is quite literally talking about the Philadelphia Eagles here. Everyone assumed it was the Eagles as the band, because she's a music god. She knows everything. She's very well versed in all music. And they were like, there's no way that she's going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles in a song. And then I was there in person at night 1 for the Eras tour, where she sang Gold Rush. And she was like, yeah, like this is literally about the Philadelphia Eagles. Like my dad grew up watching the Eagles every Sunday. The Link is obviously how she sang the national anthem at the Link. She sang the national anthem at the Reading Fight and Phil Stadium, which is the Phillies AA stadium out in Reading, Pennsylvania, where she grew up. So yeah, she's obviously a Philly native, but again, the comment of she was not a sports fan or a football fan ever up until right now. She even said, she was like, I regret waiting this long. So I don't know if she'll ever come back and actually root for the Eagles. But yeah, technically the Eagles fan base had her and her family first. I'm so excited to see her outfit today. I am too. She did look incredible at the Super Bowl last year. And I thought one of the funniest things ever, obviously we just had the Grammys, and the Tortured Poets Department, which did not win a single Grammy, which I'm sorry, that was a robbery in and of itself. Whoever is voting the Grammys has blasphemy. However, my mom texted me immediately after the Grammys and was like, okay, Taylor lost. Now her and Travis will easily be able to comfort each other after 2 big back-to-back losses, which I thought was hysterical. That was like the first thing that she thought of. Let's go. All right. Oh, okay. I got this one really, really Awesome, sweet, lovely comment. I don't like Philly fans. I think they are terrible, and I hope y'all never win anything else. I got bad news because we're coming for a Super Bowl dub today. Good luck. Good luck against playoff Patrick Mahomes. Thank you. Let's go. 49ers fans are the worst. I love it. What time is kickoff? I believe kickoff is 6:30, but realistically, it'll be like 6:45. I feel like they always take a very long time at the Super Bowl. There's a lot of excitement and anticipation. But yeah, we are just a few hours away, and then obviously, I'm so excited on a non-analytical note of the game. I feel like we're having a little more fun with it now that I got to have my Taylor Swift conversation. Talk a little bit about Super Bowl halftime show. I'm very, very excited for Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I think it's going to be phenomenal. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very overall fun night. I think this is a really good game. Again, I got some comments in here too. Happy birthday, Saquon. Happy birthday, Coop. Happy birthday, Vince Papale, Eagles legend. But yeah, guys, I just also can't thank you enough. There have been people that have been hanging out with me for almost the last 2 hours, which is absolutely unbelievable. I could not be more excited to have spent this season cheering on the Eagles with you guys. And then, of course, today's stream has been extra, extra special. If you don't already, make sure to follow me across all of my social media accounts. My social handles are pretty universal at the Sporty Jordy, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And I know my Sporty Hours live stream has been, it was presented as a playoff series. However, I've gotten a ton of really good engagement, a ton of really positive feedback. And I've also just really enjoyed taking the time to spend Sundays and Saturdays and just pre-games with you guys. So I'm definitely looking to bring this back into some extent going into next season. So maybe it's before the draft. Everyone knows how much I love the NFL draft. But yeah, so let's go. Let's go. You've been talking nonstop for almost 2 hours. I respect the hell out of you for that. Thank you. It wouldn't be without Abe reminding me to drink periodically throughout to cleanse this raspy voice. But let's go. By the time the game is over, she will have no voice. Every Saturday of the off season, we may have to bring something back. Let's go. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Go make your buffalo chicken dip. We need the win. Yeah, I need to make my buffalo chicken dip. Let's go. I'm getting too much KC comments I'm getting too many KC. Okay, here we go. The train of thought is starting to go. Too many KC comments in here. I need to go Birds immediately before we wrap up. And guys, again, thank you so much. My final score prediction that I'm going to do, I'm going to say Eagles. I'm going to say Eagles 34, Chiefs 31. That's going to be my final. Let's go. All right, I'm going to get off here. I'm saying bye to TikTok. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And now we're going to end the stream here. Again, just because of how much fun I've had doing the Sporty Hour this postseason. I was kind of really, really initially, again, having this plan on being the really small, just like mini series, just because of how well the Eagles were doing. And I was kind of confident for us. But again, I've had so much fun. So I'm definitely going to bring this back in some regard. Thank you guys so much for everyone who supported. One last time, go Birds! Let's end the Chiefs dynasty and get the Super Bowl win. Let's go. Again, I'll be on Twitter and I'll be on Instagram if you want some live reaction. So I will talk to you guys later. And of course, go Birds. Bye, guys.